communities through arts and heritage.
This is Rogers TV.
When you give a part of yourself through Canadian Blood Services, your donation could go on to captivate a country, fuel the future, be the best dad, or support cultures to thrive. Because when you donate through Canadian Blood Services, you don't just make a difference, you make all the difference. Join Canada's Lifeline today at blood.ca.
You're watching Rogers TV St. John's.
Oh no!
What is it, honey?
The Brownies are in trouble.
Oh no, let me see. It looks like the League of Health Zapping Supervillains is at it again. And this time, they're attacking the Brownies. Luckily, there's a traveler along the way who is going to help us, and he's going to stop in the Copper Kettle Inn. So why don't we make him a Copper Kettle Inn beef stew, and we'll make some brownies to help the Brownies. Welcome to Nerd Mom's Kitchen Adventures, where we make healthy eating fun and delicious. And as always, I have my two sous chefs.
I'm Erin. I'm Michael.
And I'm your host, Kelly Ryan. So on this episode, the League of Health Zapping Supervillains are at it again, and we've got to make a Copper Kettle Inn beef stew to help the traveler save the Brownies, and we're going to make some brownies to help the Brownies.
Yay!
Yay! All right, so just like all of the recipes, these are super easy and very healthy. But the beef stew is going to take a little bit longer, so we're going to do it in a slow cooker today, where it actually takes about 6 hours to cook, 6 to 8 hours to cook. So we are going to get started. So we're going to start with 2 medium sweet potatoes, which are already washed. And the reason why we washed it is because there's a lot of nutrients in the peel. So I want to keep the peel on for this one. So we're just going to chop them into bite-sized pieces. Cut the ends off. And I'm going to keep the scraps because I'm going to make a chicken stock later. Alrighty, we've got our sweet potatoes all chopped. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get Mr. Michael on oiling the slow cooker. So all you're doing, you take this and you don't need to do it a lot, just,
Okay.
but yeah, just quickly get it done. There you go. Now while he's doing that, one thing you'll notice is I usually try and do all my prep work first. And the reason why that is so that once you're actually cooking something, you can concentrate on the actual cooking of it, you know, so that you can make sure that your onions are cooked properly or that things aren't burning, you know. Whereas if you're trying to multitask, that's when it's easier for things to burn or whatever.
Mommy, do I do the sides?
Yeah, you can do the sides too. Now the reason basically why I'm oiling this is it's a fairly thick stew, so we don't want anything sticking to the sides, so that's why we're oiling it. Plus, avocado oil is really good for you. It's a very healthy fat, so it gets a little bit of that healthy fat into it for you. There you go. How about I finish that off?
Can I?
Yeah, okay. Gonna do this side. Oh, you're doing good there. Good job, buddy. Alrighty, so we're going to take our sweet potatoes now and we're just gonna plop those straight in. And this recipe is really easy because literally everything just goes straight into the slow cooker. Next, we've got 1 pound of carrots, which again, I've already washed these. So we're gonna just take the skin and we'll put those aside for my stock later. So we'll just quickly peel these. Actually, if you want, honey, you can peel those. And while she's peeling that, I'm going to cut up 1 small turnip. And I love this recipe because there is a lot of nutrition in it. So what I've done, instead of using regular white potatoes, which there is, you know, there's zinc and things like that in regular white potatoes, I decided to level it up a bit by using sweet potato. And the sweet potato really adds a bit of a sweet flavor, but a bit of a more body to it as well. So we'll just cut our peel off our turnip. And same thing, I'm going to keep my turnip skin. And this is how you can see, you can really get the kids involved in the kitchen, right? Because she's there peeling. I'll do all the cutting. All right, so I'm again just going to chop up our carrots, and same thing. The big thing is you want them to all be around the same size as everything else.
Can I have a piece of carrot?
Yeah. Do you want a piece? Oh no. Alrighty, so next we're going to take, it was supposed to be 3 ribs of celery, but my celery is small, so I'm using 4 this time. But I've already washed them, and again, I'm going to keep the ends for my stock. And the reason why I keep all these vegetables for my stock is, 1, you're reusing it, so it doesn't go straight into the garbage. And 2, there's a lot of nutrition in the ends that if we just throw them out, you're just throwing away all that nutrition. Whereas if we put it back into our stock, then we're adding extra vitamins and nutrients and minerals to our stock. So again, same thing, just a rough chop. All right. And next we've got 2 onions. Again, you can keep the skins, and that can go in our stock. There's nutrition in the skins, but I mean, they're not really nice to eat, obviously, so.
Yeah.
We'll peel those, and we'll give these a rough chop.
I can do something with the pepper.
Can you take the seeds out? Are you able to do that? Great. So while you're taking the seeds out of that one, I'll start cutting up the other. Don't worry. So as you can see, we're literally just taking pretty much everything and tossing it straight into our slow cooker.
And I have a piece of pepper.
Yeah.
And the good thing about kids being there is they can try stuff, and stuff they don't like, maybe they can like it.
So next we're going to add in, I have stewing beef here, and the reason why I bought stewing beef was because it was already cut up, so that saves me a little bit of time. But you can get beef roast, beef chuck. Basically, you're looking for any kind of beef that needs to cook longer. So we're going to just take this and literally just toss it on top of everything else. If any of the pieces are really big, you can feel free to chop them a bit smaller. These aren't too bad. I mean, they're going to shrink up. Spread that out. Now, lastly, what we're going to do you want to make the sauce?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got 2 1/4 cups of beef stock that I made earlier. So if you want to take that, you can use that. There you go. And you're going to add in 2 teaspoons of Worcester sauce. There you go. Add that straight in. You're going to add a half a cup of water. There you go. A teaspoon of dried thyme. 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. You might need a spoon. No, went right in. Good. Okay. Oh, and then you're going to want to give it a stir. Mix it all up. There you go. Now, while she's doing that, Michael's going to put 2 bay leaves in our slow cooker. There you go. You can just lay them straight in like that, bud.
Well, 3 more.
Yeah, they're small, so it's 3 small ones or 2 large ones. There you go. And it doesn't need to be perfectly mixed, just, there you go. That's good. And then you can take that and you can pour it over our beef.
Excuse me, Michael.
There you go. Good. Excellent. And now we're going to cook that on high for 6 hours. If you have extra time, you can cook it on low for 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours, but we're a little bit short on time, so we're going to put it on for 6. And then we will be right back to start our brownies. We'll see you in a minute. All right, welcome back. So while we're waiting for our copper kettle in beef stew to cook, we're gonna start on our brownies. For our brownies, right? Yay. Yes. So the first thing we're going to do is, I've already washed my sweet potato. I'm going to cut it up into fairly small pieces. So this is a leveled up brownie mix. There is a little bit of sugar in it, but I don't mind that so much because it's a bit of a better version of sugar. We're using coconut sugar and maple syrup today. I've already got my oven preheating to 350. And this sweet potato we're going to peel because peels just wouldn't taste very nice in our brownie. It wouldn't give a very good texture, would it?
No.
So we'll peel this one. And we're going to chop it up fairly small because we'd like it to cook a little bit quicker. Now, one thing you'll notice about this recipe is there's a lot of different ingredients in it than a typical brownie recipe, including sweet potatoes, applesauce, dark chocolate. So as you'll see, a lot of these are really, really boosting the health benefits and adding, some extra nutrients into our foods. We're going to get our sweet potatoes on and boiling. There we go. And while we do that, we're going to start prepping the rest of our brownie mix. So, first thing we can do, Bud, do you want to, remember, scrunch this up and stick it in? You remember how to do that? So we're going to use parchment paper to line our brownie mix, our brownies, because that makes it a lot easier to just take it straight out of the pan without having to use a knife or anything like that. So remember, fit it right down into the corner. Next, we're going to melt 3 ounces of dark chocolate and 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. Coconut oil is a fantastic fat that is great for your brain and so much more. So we are going to, here, do you want to put this in? Erin's going to put the coconut oil in the dark chocolate. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it in the microwave for 15 to 20 seconds at a time until it's all melted together. All right, our sweet potato is ready to go, and our chocolate and coconut oil are ready to go. So I'm gonna get you on mashing because that's your job, right? So Michael's gonna mash the sweet potato. There you go, you can go ahead. While me and Erin start mixing together everything else. I'm gonna get you, you can add the applesauce. There you go. So this is 3/4 of a cup of natural unsweetened applesauce. You can make your own as well, but we just made sure to buy one that really had nothing extra in it other than apples. Next, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of coconut sugar. So next, we're going to add 1/4 of a cup of maple syrup plus 2 tablespoons. So we're going to add that. And we're going to add 1/4 of a cup of cocoa powder. There you go. We'll add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. You might need this here, honey. There you go. Scrape it out.
So cool.
And then finally, we're going to add our chocolate mix.
Mixing.
Yeah, you can start mixing.
Can I start now?
Yeah, well, you come over and stir it.
After the sweet potatoes.
Well, why don't you add some stuff, okay?
Okay.
Here, Michael, you come on over and stir.
Yay.
Here, why don't I finish that off? Thank you. All right, finally, we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of, I'm using Bob Red Mill's gluten-free flour, and we're going to add 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Go, want to add that in?
I didn't know cinnamon could be white.
That's not cinnamon, honey, that's flour. This is cinnamon.
Oops.
Want to add the
I thought
cinnamon?
you said cinnamon, not flour.
There we go. That's good. We'll mix that all together. And lastly, we will add the baking powder. So this is 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. Okay. So now that that's all mixed up, we're going to pour it into our lined pan. And this is an 8x8 square dish that I use. There we go. And then we're going to bake it. All right, so we'll just spread that out so it's nice and flat. And now we're going to bake our brownie mix at 350 for about 35 to 40 minutes. When you test it, you want it to be firm, but it should still be a little gooey on the inside. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back. So while we're waiting for our brownies to finish cooking, we're going to finish the last steps of our copper kettle in stew. So we're going to take 1/3 of a cup of gluten-free flour. I like Bob's Red Mills, and put that in a bowl. And we're going to take about a cup worth of the liquid from our stew, and we'll put that in with our flour. And we're just going to stir that up. And you just basically want to mix it until all the lumps are out. If you're having trouble getting the lumps out, you can strain it through a strainer. Now we're going to take our thickened stew and pour that back in. Go, that in there. And we're also going to take 2 cups of frozen peas and add those in. Give that a little stir to mix it all together. All right, it's pretty good. And now we're going to just cook it back on high for half an hour to let it thicken up. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit fun, hey guys?
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're going to make some toppings for our brownies. We're going to make a raspberry coulis and we're going to make a coconut crema. Yum, 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 yum.
Yay! Yum, yum, yum. Yum.
All right, so we'll start with the coulis. Making a coulis is really easy. All we need is 6 ounces of frozen raspberries and 1 orange that we're going to juice. So again, I'm gonna roll out the orange so that we get more juice from it. Okay, now we're going to put our frozen raspberries in a pot. You wanna do that, buddy? I'm gonna cut the orange in half. And we're going to juice the orange straight into the pot. There you go. Good. Erin, honey, you want to juice the orange?
Sure.
There you go. Good. That's good. Next. Okay. All right, so now that we've got the raspberries and the orange juice in, we're just going to turn this on and we're going to heat it on about medium. You don't want it to burn, but you do want it to come to a boil. So, about there. Give it a stir and you want to keep an eye on it. Stir it every once in a while. All right, we'll let that do its thing. Now, while the coulis is cooking, we're going to make our coconut crema. Yum, 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 yum.
Yum, yum, yum.
All right, so for this coconut crema, I had my coconut milk in the fridge. You want a full can of full-fat coconut milk. And I have my bowl and my whisk in the fridge because it'll just whisk better. Oh, we will put our full fat, including the top, the fat on the top. Erin, honey, you want to add 1 tablespoon of maple syrup.
Woo.
Michael, you can add a half teaspoon of vanilla extract. You might. Right, and do you want to squeeze in this lemon? And a 1/4 of a banana. And basically all we're going to do now is we're going to blend it all up. So basically what we're looking for is we want the crema to be smooth, to increase in size for a little bit, and it's going to be a little bit thicker. It's not going to be as thick as whipping cream. It's more of a crema, not a whipped cream. But we're going to put it in the fridge to help it set up a little bit. Welcome back. Okay, so our brownies are cooked and they're firm to the touch, but if you stick a knife in them, they are still going to be a little bit gooey, and that sort of makes it a bit of a richer, almost like lava cake kind of texture. Let us just strain our coulis. There we go. So all we're looking to do is just take out the seeds, basically. And this is still hot, so make sure it's in a tempered bowl because you don't want your bowl to crack.
What's a tempered bowl?
Tempered bowl is a bowl that has been made in a way that it stands up to heat.
Ooh.
And so all we're going to do basically is, I'm just using a spoon here to try and scrape out as much of the liquid as possible. And what we've got left over is stir this up. We got a nice yummy sauce to go on our brownies. Alrighty, our copper kettle in beef stew is ready for the traveler, so let's serve this up. It smells delicious, hey guys?
Yeah.
Now, if you'd like this a little bit more spicy, feel free to add some Tabasco or some sriracha or something like that. And I know we try to generally eat less meat, but beef is actually the best source of B12, which is why I do include it in some meals. Alrighty, here we go. Here is our beef stew. Alrighty, so our brownies are ready. We're gonna cut those up and then we're going to make our plate all nice and pretty. How's that sound, guys?
Yeah.
Alright, so cut up our brownie. So like I said, as you can tell, it's nice and firm.
Still a bit gooey.
A little bit gooey on the inside. This is still hot. I did let it sit for about 5 minutes. If you can let it sit longer, it will set up a bit better. So we're going to add a little bit of the raspberry coulis over top. And we can add some coconut crema. You can even get real fancy and we can make some little hearts or something.
Make some little design.
Yeah. Go. If you take a knife and just run it through like this, you've got some hearts. Yay! There we go. Here's our brownie. Oh, thank you for joining us on this week's episode where we are saving the brownies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and helping to feed the traveler who's also going to save the brownies.
Yay.
So we're going to take our recipes and bring them to the box in the woods. And if you would like any of these recipes, please just head on over to my website, www.nerdmomnutrition.com, where you can get all of the recipes. We will see you the next time. Bye.
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 If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it.